All right, sir. So thank you for what you've said. That leads me to this question. When we look at countries like China, we look at countries like Singapore. These are countries that young people today in Nigeria they run to. These people have a standard. I was made known during the course of the week that before you can become a president in Singapore, you must have, I think, minimum of 3 degrees, husband to one wife. You should never have broken any traffic law. You must never be caught with maybe any drug issue. It's a clean slate that even before election comes, they've been able to streamline. By the time you look at people that fall into this category, I doubt you have so many people that would meet the merit of this. So what am I trying to say? As a country, because of this merit, because of this standard, they've been able to manage, having bad eggs or having bad hands to lead their government. Today, as a country in Nigeria, how can we create a standard that would ensure that we have the right hands managing our economy? How do we ensure that we have the right hands surrounding? Because you made it known that even if you are the right person, sometimes you might have a cabinet or people bad heads surrounding you, and it might influence your decisions. How do we ensure that we have a standard, we have the right people surrounding the front runner to have better policies that are citizen friendly? How do we ensure this happens, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. I'm trying. I know that maybe a few people are listening to us, and I don't want to sound as somebody that is a pessimist. I don't want to end up discouraging people that want to go into politics from going there. You still have to. But let me say this first and foremost, that number one, it's going to take us a very, very long time. From what I'm seeing, when I advise people, I tell them that, you know what, do your best within the square that you occupy. Just do your best so that at least you can live a less stressful life, you can live a happy life, you can live a fulfilled life. That is you as an individual. Influence your environment. So at least it will take Nigeria 200 years to get there. I don't have 50 years to live. So I've stopped complaining about Nigeria. And my expectation that things will change in another 23 years is very, very bleak. But what I've done is to leave a purpose within my area and then leave God to decide if he has anything for you to play in government. But once you get there, just maintain that standard. Otherwise, you also miss it and your life becomes stressful. Now, I know that God will still prepare some people to go there. It was God that sent me there for a purpose. Now, I mentioned that. Yeah. That purpose is not include that I should be a governor. He just wanted me to discover, and that's why I wrote that book, Politics and Man. I'm working on the second one now. To try and say some things, then I would have done my own role. Now you as an individual, all right, to go to government, God gave me that body one day. And the way God did it was to let me know that, look, you are here in Lagos. You are doing very fine. How many people in your village has been able to have the opportunity that you have had? How many people in your state had the same opportunity? So if everybody stays in Lagos, who will represent your people in government? That was what pushed me out. But God had his own plan to have given me that kind of assignment. So you as an individual, if you are convinced that God has given you an assignment and it's truly from God, then what happened to me will happen to you, in the sense that God will fast track your movement. It will stress you that when I met Chief Ade Farati, within 2 weeks, he appointed me, gave me that job within 2 weeks. Then, after that, when he left, Agagu made me the chairman of Ondo State Property Corporation. He wanted me to see what was going on there. So I went there. Again, I didn't know Agagu that closely until he called me. He called me himself and said, look, Kole, we want you to come and help us run our property corporation. The first answer I gave him was, Oh, let me pray about it, sir. He said, pray, then please get back to me in another week. And he gave me that job. That left. Now, for me to be national vice chairman of APC, it wasn't my own move. It was Akeredolu who called me and said that, look, I want you to go to the National Working Committee. The man in Lagos, the president opposed it because his friend, Chief Aki Elure, was the one that was national vice chairman before me. Now, who is calling Oluwajano to confront Aki Elure? The closest person to the president. But on that night, somehow he had to step down. The pressure was too much on him. He stepped down, so I went in unopposed. Not because of my political clout, because God has a purpose for me. Now, you as a person, if God has a purpose for you, at times I try to avoid preaching because that is not my focus. But everybody must understand that as a human being, you are made up of three things: your body, your soul, your spirit. God is spirit. God communicates with your spirit. So you must have a measure of divine relationship. So you know when the Holy Spirit is pushing you. If Holy Spirit pushes you, it will get you there, whichever that position is. So for me, that gives me a ray of hope. Maybe one day people will be getting there closely. But many people also get there and they get attracted by the resources they meet there. It's not easy to have billions passing through your account and you've never seen 100 million in your life. Of course, the first thing that will happen, unless you're under divine direction, is to see how you can take more money, and greed comes in. Forgetting, as this man put it recently, Bill Gates, he said, whether you're a billionaire or you are just a thousandaire, we all eat the same hamburger. It's the same food we are eating. Every that is additional. So if you are inspired by God, you can get there. Forget about all this fear. But for me, this Nigeria, we still have a long way to go. And that is why I discourage people around me from complaining about Nigeria. Because your complaint does not go far. Nobody is listening to you. Nobody hears you. I remember one minister, they were abusing him in the newspaper. So I now wrote an article to defend him. You know the shock I received? When I visited him in his office, he did not even know that they were abusing him in the newspaper. He was not seeing any of the copies. Obviously, his pressman was not briefing him. I can bet it with you. Many of them don't know the shout that is going on. That's the truth. So what do you do as an individual? What you do as an individual is that, number one, make yourself available to use as you are directed by divine power. Number two, within your area, begin to make that change. So at you as an individual, you'll be satisfied that you have fulfilled your purpose. As to whether Nigeria gets there, that is for God to do. But using my human judgment, in the next 100 years, we're still far from it.